In today's equity index futures markets, let's focus on the S&P 500 future today. We're seeing some selling pressure to start the week, under pressure and staircasing lower throughout the day. We did see the S&P futures settling pretty much near the low end of the range for the day, right around the 2807 level currently. And again, it is interesting though, coming off of Friday's close, we did see the S&P future coming in this morning at basically the highest level since March 9th. So again, I think we're seeing some reaction to some of the news that's breaking over the weekend, and I think the main driver today why we did see some weakness was the fact that we saw oil markets continuing to come under substantial selling pressure. We saw oil down quite significantly today, and I think again that's another concern for the equity markets if we see these oil names and these oil service names and market participants within that sector continuing to be under pressure here with the fact that crude oil continues to push lower. Couple that with, I think we're overbought coming in today. We did have quite a substantial rally here the last couple of weeks, so I think there was an overbought condition coming into today as well. And once the oil markets really started the selling pressure, I think we did see it pick up in other sectors as well. And I think the third thing you want to point out is the rotation here. We are seeing a rotation into bonds today, bonds rallying today. Also, the U.S. dollar strength today, pushing back over 100, and we saw some substantial strength there. So I think you are seeing, again, a rotation here due to the fact that we did see maybe some of these market conditions getting a little stretched from a overbought and oversold condition. Looking at trends in place, I want to point out we are seeing the S&P futures, again, coming off almost 6-week highs. And it is interesting that we're not seeing a big pickup in volume. Actually, volume on this sell-off today was below average, so I think that's a short-term positive. And couple that with the fact that the market's also going to have to contend with earnings this week. We have 20% of the names within the S&P announcing this week, so we could see some volatility and some price action due to those earnings announcements. And also, when you look at it from a trend standpoint, we are still holding above this uptrend, this upsloping trend line that comes in right around 2790. So again, there still seems to be a little bit more downside here before we would breach what would be perceived as an upward sloping trend line coming off those lows that we saw in March.